Today, we're going to talk about what to do when you're feeling content burnout. So in the last episode, don't forget to check that one out. We talked about how to use pillar content to 10x your output in 2023, but maybe you're 10xing your output and you're getting burnt out now. So we're going to talk about what to do because Neil and I, we've been creating content for a long time.
The first thing is if you are getting burnt out, you're probably creating content on a topic that you're not that passionate about. Passion is super important. The more passionate you are, what you'll find is you'll be less likely to get burnt out. Doesn't mean you won't get burnt out. You're just much less likely to get burnt out. So the first step is pick topics that you're passionate about. If you're not passionate about it, don't waste your time creating content around it. Even if it's your main business, go find someone else to go create content around it who is passionate.
I'm smiling right now because this reminds me of my YouTube when all the videos were crushing it when I was just talking about marketing. I got sick of talking about marketing, so I talked about everything else. It's been like such a hard climb afterwards because so you got to think about the game that you're playing to. If you're playing on like YouTube's algorithm, you have to figure out another angle. So I wouldn't say, for example, for me, what I would have done differently, if I was just doing marketing how-to videos the whole time and I wasn't excited about it anymore, I could have done other stuff where it's like maybe I walk into a business and I interview someone and I talk about their marketing. It's a long-form interview, right? There are other angles to play it. I just decided to start talking about other stuff like investing in NFTs, and that's going a little too far out there. So if you're going to try to pivot a little bit, I'm talking about specifically about YouTube. If you're getting burnt out there, try to figure out another angle that's going to excite you. That's one thing. The second thing I would say is sometimes I just take a break, right? And in the last episode, we talked about Vanessa Lau as a creator. She'll take a break for a while and she won't create content. And that sometimes when you come back from that, let's just call it a sabbatical, you come back from that, you come back with a lot of energy. And so I remember last year when I went to Spain, I was gone for 2-3 weeks. When I came back, I had a lot more creative energy, not just for marketing and content creation, but also for the business as well. I was like, okay, what needs to change? Because you have a lot of open space to think where you're not in the weeds on the hamster wheel. So if you're able to get that space, if you're fortunate enough to maybe every quarter or so set a week aside and then maybe go on a vacation or maybe go on a sabbatical, that open space actually brings a lot of creativity and you'll actually feel more energized, or you'll say, hey, something needs to change and maybe I need to eliminate some stuff.
Yeah, you'll also find that you can do quite well with your content and not get burned out if you have systems and processes in place and teams to help you out. So for example, systems and processes could be using ChatGPT to help you create ideas so you don't feel as pressured, or using tools like that or Jasper to help you write some of the content, again, so you don't feel as pressured, and then you can go in and adjust them. Other things that you could do is, like when I create a lot of my Instagram content, my team brainstorms ideas. They used to outline and then they realized they never really read any of the outlines, and I just went free form and I just talked, which is what I prefer. And that helps me. It gets me excited because they give me some really cool ideas. Sometimes every once in a while, usually every recording session, because we record at least 30 shorts in a recording session, or 30 reels, or whatever you want to end up calling them. And when we record them, at least one of the 30 topics will be something new that I haven't heard about. And I'll stop the recording and I'll go do research and I'll read about it. And they're like, just read the script, and then I'll be like, no, I want to read about it really quickly, learn more. And then I'll record the topic. But I love it because I'm also learning something new, which keeps me passionate. And it also helps with burnout, because if I'm talking about new stuff that's exciting to me, it pushes me to keep going more and more. But those are examples of like systems or processes, or having teammates to help you out. Same with creating content for speaking gigs. I hate it. I really do
I hate
it
too.
It's such a pain to create these slide decks. I have one person who helps me do it. It's super expensive, but it's well worth. This employee probably cost me somewhere in the 6 figures a year. And they help me with all my decks, the design and the layout. They do a lot of the research. I come up with idea topics with them. They outline it. I then go and redo a lot of the stuff in the outline. And then we go and fill in the presentation together. That's really important because I'm talking on it. So if they just create a presentation, a lot of random stuff that I don't believe in or don't know about and don't agree with, it would create a very awkward presentation for me.
Yeah. I think what's important here is understanding that when you're creating content, you have to understand what you hate and what you should delegate out and what you like. And so I remember a couple of years ago, Neil and I were recording a course together, and we were just reading off the teleprompter. And that just wasn't, I don't know about you, Neil, but that just wasn't my style. So I got a lot of, I basically got de-energized throughout the day. So yeah, but
it's fun.
It's not fun. Yeah. And so you got to figure out what works for you. So for Neil's also talking about, and same thing for me too. It's like, for me, I look for the last mile, right? So it's if you get me 70, 80% of the way there, 90% of the way there with the titles or the ideas or the slides, and then I can just cut and then add my own flair, that's going to energize me and that's going to make it fun for me, right? Because I just need to add in my own creative flair there, and you've taken a lot of the monotony out of the work. And some people, they like the monotony. Like maybe you don't like finance, maybe you don't like numbers or whatever. Like other people like that. Like there are jobs to be done. And so if you're fortunate enough, if you have the resources to be able to delegate out, whether it's to contractors or full-time people, you have to first understand, hey, what are the things that I'm absolutely world-class at that I love? And what are the things that I'm not so good at or just not interested in doing? Because sometimes you might be good at something, but you just don't want to do it. Anything else, Neil?
That's it.
All right, that is it for today. Please don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube and marketingschool.io/newsletter for our free newsletter to stay up to date with our content. And yeah, don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and we'll catch you tomorrow.